This video is designed to help you start a hydroponic farming business. At the end of the video, you'll find a valuable gift. It's a hydroponic farming business plan that you can download, and will lay down for you, step by step, everything you need to know to start a successful hydroponic farming business of your own. If you are new to this channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button for more videos like this. Since hydroponic farming is practiced in a controlled environment, it is also called controlled environment agriculture. It is a perfect fit for indoor growing. Other growth factors, such as air, light, space, and time, are also controlled indoors. This means you can start a hydroponic farm anywhere, such as remote communities, urban centers, extreme climates, Arctic, desert. You may have heard of the term vertical farming and wondered if it is the same as hydroponic farming. Think of it this way: vertical farming is the larger category that hydroponic farming fits into. With vertical farming, plants are stacked on top of each other to make greater use of the entire space, instead of just growing in one layer on the ground. This can be accomplished either through growing towers, where plants grow on top of each other vertically, or through horizontal trays that are then stacked. What you can grow in a hydroponic farm. Hydroponic farms can grow a variety of produce. Instead of putting their energy into large root systems, leafy green vegetables put this energy towards growing their leaves. Here are a few examples of the best types of products to grow on a hydroponic farm. Lettuces, for example, romaine, butterhead. Leafy greens, for example, spinach, kale, arugula. Asian greens, for example, bok choy, win choy. Herbs, for example, mint, basil, cilantro. Microgreens, for example, micro broccoli, red sorrel. What you can't grow commercially in a hydroponic farm. With hydroponics, the question isn't so much what you can or can't grow, but more about whether hydroponics is the most efficient way to grow a specific crop. With that in mind, flowering vegetables, such as strawberries and tomatoes, have additional considerations, for example pollination, that need to be considered if they are to be grown year-round. Further research is currently being conducted into how these plants can be reliably cultivated indoors, and at a volume that makes sense. Other vegetables, such as rooting vegetables, which include potatoes and sweet potatoes, are most economically grown in soil. It's also important to consider the growing cycle and the weight of the desired vegetable. For example, broccoli heads grow large and heavy, which makes them a poor choice for hydroponic growth. Broccoli microgreens are a great alternative for hydroponic growers looking to expand product offerings. Hydroponic farming has many benefits over traditional agriculture. While these systems aren't meant to completely replace traditional methods, they offer several advantages over conventional soil growing, including less water, land, labor, and chemical usage. They also bring the added benefit of being able to grow produce where the consumer is, growing hyper-locally. You can grow produce year-round. In many climates, growing year-round isn't possible with traditional farming, because vegetables can't survive in extreme conditions. For example, in Ottawa, Canada, on average, your frost-free growing season is 152 days. For the other 213 days, the temperatures can dip to as low as -30°C, making it hard to grow vegetables. With hydroponic farming, plants are being grown indoors, in a controlled environment. That means they can be grown year-round in any climate zone. Less water usage. Hydroponic systems can use up to 10 times less water than traditional crop watering methods, due to the way the system is designed. By capturing and using water in a closed system, and not allowing runoff to drain into the environment, hydroponics is very water efficient. Some hydroponic farms recirculate water throughout the system, which allows them to be more water efficient. Less land usage. Another limited resource that hydroponic farming helps to save is arable land. Conventional farming only has one layer of planting on the ground, and therefore requires large acreages for bigger yields. With hydroponic farming, you can take advantage of vertical space as well, by stacking plants on top of each other. Lower labor requirements. Hydroponic farming is less labor-intensive, which allows more food to be produced by fewer people. It can also participate in the conversation about labor in agriculture, and how we can continue to advance technology and working conditions behind food production. Recently, a small percentage of agricultural employers were under scrutiny for not adhering to their responsibilities and employing temporary foreign workers with minimal benefits, protections, and poor standards of living. While the majority of agricultural employers treat workers fairly, advocacy efforts won't stop until this is the case for all. New ways of growing can have us reflect on the ways things have always been done in the industry, and advance production methods and labor equity. Uses fewer chemicals. It's not necessarily that all chemicals are bad, but rather that consumers are trending towards knowing more about what goes into their food. In the controlled growing environment of a hydroponic farm, it's easier to keep track of what goes into growing the plants. Plus, plants are able to grow faster and are less stressed due to less pest pressure. This is better for both growers and consumers, because there are quicker yields and fewer chemicals required to treat potential pests. The next part of the video is not specific to a hydroponic farming business. Nevertheless, this knowledge is essential for success in the hydroponic farming business, as well as in any other business. Ignore it at your own peril. Operating a successful hydroponic farming business will depend on the following 4 conventions. 1. A practical plan, with a solid foundation. 2. Dedication and willingness to sacrifice to reach your goal. 3. Technical skills. 4. Basic knowledge of management, finance, record keeping and market analysis. As a new owner, you will need to master these skills and techniques if your business is to be successful. Finding a niche. Small businesses range in size from a manufacturer, with many employees, and millions of dollars in equipment, to the lone window washer, with a bucket and a sponge. Obviously, the knowledge and skills required for these two extremes are far apart, but for success they have one thing in common. Each has found a business niche, and is filling it. The most critical problems you will face, in your early planning, will be to find your niche, and determine the feasibility of your idea. Get into the right business at the right time, is very good advice, but following that advice may be difficult. Many entrepreneurs plunge into a business venture, so blinded by the dream, that they fail to thoroughly evaluate its potential. Is your business idea feasible? Before you invest time, effort, and money, the following exercise will help you separate sound ideas from those bearing a high potential for failure. Identify and briefly describe the business you plan to start. Identify the product or service you plan to sell. Answering yes to any of the following 3 questions means you are on the right track. A negative answer to all of them means the road ahead could be rough. 1. Does your product or service satisfy an unfilled need? 2. Will your product or service serve an existing market in which demand exceeds supply? 3. Will your product or service be competitive based on its quality, selection, price, or location? Market analysis. For a small business to be successful, the owner must know the market. To learn the market, you must analyze it, a process that takes time and effort. You don't have to be a trained statistician to analyze the marketplace, nor does the analysis have to be costly. Analyzing the market is a way to gather facts about potential customers, and to determine the demand for your product or service. The more information you gather, the greater your chances of capturing a segment of the market. Know the market before investing your time and money in any business venture. The following questions will help you collect the information necessary to analyze your market, and determine if your product or service will sell. This brief exercise will give you a good idea of the kind of market planning you need to do. An answer of no to any of the questions indicates a weakness in your plan, so do your research until you can answer each question with a yes. 1. Do you know who your customers will be? 2. Do you understand their needs and desires? 3. Do you know where they live? 4. Will you be offering the kind of products or services that they will buy? 5. Will your prices be competitive in quality and value? 6. Will your promotional program be effective? 7. Do you understand how your business compares with your competitors? 8. Will your business be conveniently located for the people you plan to serve? 9. Will there be adequate parking facilities for the people you plan to serve? Planning your startup. The following questions are grouped according to function. They are designed to help you prepare for opening day. Merchandise. Have you decided what items you will sell or produce, or what services you will provide? Have you made a merchandise plan based upon estimated sales to determine the amount of inventory you will need to control purchases? Have you found reliable suppliers who will assist you in the startup? Have you compared the prices, quality, and credit terms of suppliers? Business records. Are you prepared to maintain complete records of sales, income and expenses, accounts payable, and receivables? Have you determined how to handle payroll records, tax reports, and payments? Do you know what financial reports should be prepared, and how to prepare them. Finances. A large number of small businesses fail each year. There are a number of reasons for these failures, but one of the main reasons is insufficient funds. Too many entrepreneurs try to start and operate a business without sufficient capital, money. To avoid this dilemma, you can review your situation by analyzing the following 3 questions. 1. How much money do you have? 2. How much money will you need to start your business? 3. How much money will you need to stay in business? In order to answer the second question, how much money will you need to start your business? You need to prepare an estimate of all your startup costs. Here is a list of items you may need to take into account. Note that this list is for a retail business. Items will vary for service, construction, manufacturing or online firms. Decorating and remodeling, fixtures and equipment, installing fixtures and equipment, services and supplies, beginning inventory cost, legal, professional fees, licenses and permits, telephone utility deposits, insurance, signs, advertising for opening, unanticipated expenses. Now, the answer to the third question, how much money will you need to stay in business? Must be divided into 2 parts, immediate costs, and future costs. From the moment the door to your new business opens, a certain amount of income may come in. However, this income should not be projected in your operating expenses. You will need enough money available to cover costs for at least the first 3 months of operation. The following list will help you project your operating expenses on a monthly basis. Typical expenses for 1 month may include your living costs, employee wages, rent, advertising, supplies, utilities, insurance, taxes, maintenance, delivery, transportation, miscellaneous. Now sum up the total estimated monthly expenses and multiply it by 3. This is the amount of cash you will need to cover operating expenses for 3 months. Deposit this amount in a savings account before opening your business. Use it only for those purposes listed in the above list, because this money will ensure that you will be able to continue in business during the crucial early stages. By adding the total startup costs to the total expenses for 3 months, you can learn what the estimated costs will be to start and operate your business for 3 months. By subtracting the totals of the lists from the cash available, you can determine the amount of additional financing you may need, if any. Now you will need to estimate your operating expenses for the first year after startup. The first step in determining your annual expenses is to estimate your sales volume, month by month. Next, determine the cost of sales. You may want to use a spreadsheet to do this. After startup, the primary source of revenue in your business will be from sales, but your sales will vary from month to month because of seasonal patterns and other factors. It is important to determine if your monthly sales will produce enough income to pay each month's bills. An estimated cash flow projection will show if the monthly cash balance is going to be subject to such factors as the following: failure to recognize seasonal trends, excessive cash taken from the business for living expenses, too rapid expansion, and slow collection of accounts if credit is extended to customers. Conclusion: if you have carefully answered all the questions in this video, you have seriously thought about your goal. However, there may be some things you may feel you need to know more about. Owning and running a hydroponic farming business is a continuous learning process. Research your idea, and do as much as you can, yourself, but don't hesitate to seek help from people who can tell you what you need to know. As we conclude this video, it's time you get your free hydroponic farming business plan gift. Go to the description below this video to get it now. It is completely free, no strings attached. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and hit the subscribe button for more videos like this.